did several times. It hurts to admit that we're no different. I find it hard to commit, but you don't even try. Still I'm better with than without you. Oh, I'm on it, I want it, but why do you seem to call it your eyes? I can't tell if you're here or you're out there. Do you wanna be out there? You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale. You don't need a killer dragon for me. Ooh, I don't need no fairy tale. We run and go still every time. Whatever it is, I keep on trying. 'Cause it ain't hard to forgive when you know what it's like. That's why I'm better with than without you. Oh, I'm on it, I want it, but why do you seem to call it your eyes? I can't tell if you're here or you're out there. Do you wanna be out there? You don't need to be Prince Charming to me. I just need this to be real. I don't need no fairy tale.
Evening Club Cult. It's kind of loud. I don't realize it until I'm shouting over it. Pulse out of purgatories. And good evening. Don't need that open, don't need that open, don't need that open. Phone over. I still can't believe the throwback to Void. That was so cool. I knew it's been that long that she's been coming around, but like to see it was wow. Wow. There's Discord. Apologize for the fan in the background. It is warm in here. So either it's insanely warm or we listen to the fan. Sorry. There she is, little throwback. Little throwback. I feel bad the bowls were empty by then. I don't know what time that was though. What's the timestamp? Almost 2 a.m. Everyone would have been done crunching by then. Oh. Why is so much running? My computer has a fetish for having hissy fits lately. It's interesting. It's interesting. I even updated her, begrudgingly. She's still angry. Bitches. Bitch is gonna bitch. Speaking of bitches, we're gonna play some Doom tonight. We're gonna die a lot of Doom tonight. It's gonna be great. I am hyped. I'm gonna try and go back to whatever video I was looking at the other day. And watch like the full version of how someone else goes through this. Okay, that should be happier. Happier computer. What are the baby shittins up to? I cannot believe that tomorrow they're going to be 2 weeks old. They all have their eyes open now. It's amazing. It really is amazing. It's a little like weird watching them just like look around though. I don't know. Because they can't really like see anything yet, just like shapes. Roughly. Cow is so big and so active. It's nuts. I bet that was the biggest one. I bet that was the shithead on the ultrasound. I bet $1 million that one was cow. There's the little stinkers. They have no business being so cute. Oh, that's not precise. I left my glasses in the kitchen. I think I need to grab them. Little hungry puppies. I think maybe number 3 is gonna end up being long-haired. It's so foofy. It's like a baby duckling right now, and the other two are smooth. It's interesting. Where did my YouTube video go? Gone. History. That one there. No. Shh. I did it again. I almost put Doom 3 instead of Eternal. I did it again. Swap our categories. Hello, music mash. There we go. One's better. Do 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 do. Okay, but first, how do? How do? I think that was where. What tripod in the way? Slow dashes. That's so daunting, nerve-wracking. It's not that easy. You're joking me. Don't go that far. Oh, you gotta shoot at it and then dash. It's not a punch. That's highly unpleasant. Surprise, Slavka. Gravity exists. I love that for her. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The other side actually does look tempting. What gun is he using for that? Cow's on the move. On the move. So cute. That one, I don't even remember what that one is. know where it is on the dial, but I don't remember where it is otherwise. Oh, the keyboard doesn't work anymore. I broke my water bottle earlier. Like the gallon jug. I never knew that was possible. So I drank some of the Red Bull yesterday and I wanted to get yucky. How am I going to open this? I did not think this through. Voya, hold this for me. There you go. But the top of it was popped in. So I stuck my thumb in and went to pop it back out, and the whole top broke off. There was a hole like that big at the top of it. It's a whole situation and circumstance. I'm dissatisfied. Hey Gunther. I don't know what to tell you on spots here, Voya. Gotta rearrange a little bit. Want to finally wear the party hat? Wear the party hat? No? He wore it one year. The first year that he had it. And I think that was just all that I get out of that one. And that's okay. That's okay. You do what you do, walk-a-do, voya boo. Okay, I'm gonna grab my glasses. I don't know if I'll need them or not, but they're probably good to have. Hey, Slavka. Meow. Oh, I got the cutest little things for the puppies. And by puppies, I mean kittens. I stopped at Target. And I found this. Which there's kittens in the picture, so I'm thinking like kitten-sized, yes. Because they'll be scooching around by the time it's Halloween time. September 6th, October 6th, they'll be a month. That's 4 weeks. November 6th, they'll be 8 weeks. So yeah, they'll be little playful babies around Halloween time. But it's a little, like, I don't know. I don't really even know what it is. A little nighttime castle. It's a spooky haunted house. It just says Scratch Cat Scratcher. Thank you for sharing, Slavka. Is that so? It's adorable. And then, I was at my vet's today. I thought about it later. I should have grabbed 3 packages, but it's still like a lot of toys, and like we have a lot of cat toys in this house. There's no catnip in this Voya. There's some little toys in here, and one that looks just like Mom, so they can play with Mom when they don't want to play with Mom, or Mom doesn't want to play with them. And this one has little bats in it. It's very cute. Little eyeball ping pong ball. It's phenomenal and adorable. Voya, it's not for you. You do have medicine in here, though, that I forgot to put away for you. Voya and Chauncey are now brothers in liver arms. That's okay. That was just scary this week. Like, wow. That was a lot. It was intense. But it's Friday. And it's torture night. So let's die 1,000 times until we get it right. No other way to get through it than to get through it. This is easily my least favorite part. Hi, Voya. What are you up to, bub? Would you like to join the party? Join the LAN party? Yes, you can sit on that keyboard right now. It's broken. Does that make you happy? Does that satisfy your soul? I'm very happy for you. I don't think you can knock that cup over, but please don't. Let's move your tail the other way. Oh, then you're gonna knock the can over. Like, I can't help it. There's a little bit of space. And I'm a big cat. Boy, I look so uncomfortable. I feel bad. Like, not uncomfortable in, like, how he's seated, but uncomfortable in, like, terms of what I'm telling him. Little stinky boy. Little stinky boy. You're hilarious. I'm too young to die. Or gonna die 1,000 times. This part is just, it's horrible. I think we've probably put collectively at least 2 full hours into it so far. If not more. Just trying to get doink, doink. How many doinks? It's 1 jumpy, and then 3 more jumpies. And then apparently a shooty, not a punchy. I wonder if when we replay this, I'll remember what the symbols are. And like how any of this actually goes.
By awakening the icon of sin inside her, the seal has been broken. Now the demons may pass through the void as never before.
As never before. That one, what is that? Plasma, right?
Eternal damnation. He was arrogant to bring the dormant icon here.
Excuse me.
Her humors have shattered
Thank you.
paradise.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you're wasting time. You're wasting time. Oof. Ow! Does that mean it's open though for me? Probably not. I don't think it works that way. Oh. Go. Go, go, Power Rangers. This is the worst. Shout out to like just now learning to space out the dashes. Oh. I thought just one was gonna get us there. Nope. It's a 2-dash job. That part's weird, because sometimes you need a dash and sometimes you just need a jump. It probably depends on like the trajectory of how I angle myself when being launched. Buckle up. It's gonna be like this all night. It's not gonna get any better. Maybe we'll get there, but nothing will change. First try was pretty close. Also, welcome, Mad Topher. I hope the end of the week is being kind to you. Fuck yeah, it's Friday. It's... Oh, shit. I was gonna be cute and show Voya and say it's fur day. I don't even know why I didn't just let myself fall. It's fur day. It's fur day. I got some cute stuff for the little kittens when they mature a little bit the last couple of days. Oh, I'm gonna die soon. We got them a cute little Halloween scratch pad for little photo shoots and some Halloween toys. I'm excited. That was bad aim. Friday happy dance if we can get through this. You have to shoot it, not punch it. I screwed up before. Ah! You have to shoot it and then dash through it. It's triggering my gonna need Botox eyebrow. Funniest one, I don't even hit the first one. Alright. Doom Guy and Hero. Salute. 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 I found... Target has this right now, and they're really cute. I should have gotten two. One for the boys, like for just decoration, and one for the babies. But it opens up into like a little haunted house, and there's kittens on the picture. So I'm assuming it'll be like appropriately kitten-sized. Oh, I'm sorry, Voya. I didn't mean to offend your life. No free butts. No free butts. No free butts. No free butts. Yeah. I wish the last one didn't fall down. Because they all, if you stay on them for a certain amount of time, will just fall down. The last one would be a nice checkpoint to be static. Especially for playing on easy. The harder modes, I get it. Make it hard. But I need easy. I'm too young to die. I'm too young to die. Boya thinks these are all for him. I only got two because I think that's enough toys. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in each package. What's 8 times 2? 16. Is 16 divisible by 3? 6 plus 1 is 7. No. But close enough. They can all share mom. So one of them looks like Void, which is cute. And then they're just little stupid floofle doofles. Give different types of the haunted cat houses and set up spooky Serenaville. There was only one kind. I found it at Target. I looked for more because it was buy one, get one 30% off. And I was just hunting around for like another one or something like Halloweeny that I liked. And then I couldn't find anything. And I was like, well, what should I get just to get it? And I was like, what are you doing? Don't just get it. Like, you either get one thing for the price or another thing for more money, even if it's 30% off. If there's nothing you see that you love and is like, I need to have this, don't buy it. I find it very annoying. I have to remind myself of that sometimes. It's like, excuse me, Serena's parent of who is Serena. This one has little bats and more little eyeballs and a little spooky mousy guy. I think that's what he is. It's adorable. Their eyes are all barely open and they're spoiled as shit already. That would be neat though. I mean, realistically, we just have to get a bunch of boxes. And like, we could put them, like, we could cover them in black tape. Because paint would probably be kind of like toxic, stinky smelling. I don't know if there's like super cat safe paint. We could cover it in like, do they make thick electric tape or just like thick black tape? Or garbage, well, they'd scratch up the garbage bags, but then it would look even cooler and spookier. We could make you your own little haunted house. We get a lot of Chewy boxes. We could do that. It doesn't, it looks like I'm talking to the floor. Voya is here. I am my father's daughter. Sometimes. Because my first instinct is like, 30% off, what, an extra item, I'll get another thing. And then my second instinct is, I don't need the other thing. It's more dollars, even if it's 1% off. That's how they get you. And that's where I hear my dad in my head. That's how they get you. There's nothing else really, like, that I liked for them, though. All of the cat toys that I thought would be cute were actually dog toys. Like, I guess for small dogs. I don't know. Can I skip the... No. This audio is probably getting annoying at the start every single time, and I'm sorry. It's like that when I'm after the final boss in Doom 3, where we just see his intro over and over and over again. I opened up a Red Bull last night because I needed extra caffeine. I needed a clean house. And I put it in the fridge in a Ziploc. To have for the rest of tonight. I used to have a whole collection of like the silicone drink covers And I ended up using them all up and like using them for like pet cans and all of that. And I need to restock with those. I bought those like 4 or 5 years ago. The big ones for like Tupperware things. Oops. I don't know, like bowls and whatnot, I still have, but the smaller ones just got yucky. That was just way too low from the start. I try to avoid carbonated things because they don't really make me feel great, but I need a different caffeine. And I was too lazy to go to Starbucks. And I think by the time I opened it last night, Starbucks was already closed. Hello, Mr. Voya. Oh, what? Space out your dashes. I need a coach. Okay, easy does it. Climb up. Hop over. Over jump. Dash. Dash. Grab. Welcome to the narration hour. Jump. Dash. Oh, I'm on top of it. Grab. Grab. Jump. Dash. Dash. Grab. Cannot shoot from here. That's dumb as fuck. No! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! I'm done with your shit! I'm done! Good night! We're finished! I'm done! We did it! I'm done! I give up! I'm done! I won! I won the game! And because of that, we all just lost the game. But I'll take losing the game to win the game. I won the game. The game is over. I won. I won. Fucking checkpoint me, motherfucker. No, I would honestly fucking be sold if you told me if you told 16-year-old Serena that that's the final boss and this button gets us out of here, I would have 100% believed you. But now I'm mature and I know better and I know there's worse coming, but God, I never want to do that part again. Ever. Ever. I'm trying to think if there's a part in Doom 3 where I, like, specifically hate. I know there's a couple where it's annoying, but I don't think there's a part where I'm ever like, I don't want to do that ever again. I don't want to do that ever again. Ever. Next playthrough, we're going level by level, backtracking, and skipping this one. This one no longer exists to me. It's not valid. It's not real. It's not happening. It's, done. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. Door. Door, you whore. Oh God, I'm so relieved. Don't ever put me through that again. Don't do that. Fucking elevator. Where's the fucking elevator taking us? Our next checkpoint is 1,084 meters away. That's far. Ah! Why? All of you. Just shoot it. Whole lot of nothing, Serena. GG's. Just not prepared for this with anyone. Christ. Guys. Ooh, which way? This way or that way? I think that one of them will just have a door that we can go through and one of them won't. And that one does. Does it go in a circle? Probably. Why wouldn't it? That's silly. It opens on both sides. Of course it would go in a circle, you dink. That's a no-no. That's a go-go. The fuck you want me to do now? Is there another door? I don't think so. Nope. You fucking rat bastard. Wait, that's my drawing pencil. I didn't put it away. Leave it be, please. It's not toy. There's one single pencil in here. It's mine. Oh, there's no round. Okay. More! Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. I feel like it checkpointed on the elevator. I really hope it did. I want to do this. This Star Wars looking bitch ass. Levitate me over with the Force. Use the Force. I don't know where this is gonna take us. We're just gonna die. Oh, hole. Spyro. Spyro trained me for this. Okay, that's not the worst it can be. It's just like a pay attention to that shit. Oh, no, I faltered myself. I didn't mean to do that so zoomy. I'm not pressing buttons for a second here. That was too much. That was too much. Aw, Slavka, you're so sleepy. Just passed out on the floor after a hard day of being a little monster. Same with Gunther. Foya's like, I'm a good boy. I still got all the energy. Slalom course. What does that mean? It's more like a slam my head into the wall course. Oh, triggered my first point of go. Thank you. Okay. That one. No, why? Am I just supposed to trust the process? I don't like just trusting the process. I'm a need to know girly. It's a windy day, and it's pushing us to the side. People do skiing and zip left and right over and over again while going downhill. That's exactly what's happening. The last one is pushing me to the Lucy. Gotta like wonk myself to the Ricky here. That was awkward. Whoop, ran into the wall. That's very Serena coded. If this were me instead of Doom Guy, I wouldn't have made it in the first place, but I sure would have hit the wall. That's not a place. We don't have crouch. I miss crouch and I miss grenades. It feels weird when I can't crouch in a game. What is going on with you? Is this taking us back to a battleground? What kind of trouble is about to get started here? What are you? Did I already touch you? I don't think it cares that I'm there. Not that important. Never knew that was something that people do on purpose, and I thought honestly that's just how you like keep your balance. Like roller skating. Cause you're, you know, like this way and that way, this way and that. I don't know. I never even thought twice about it. Last jumps area was just a warm up. Don't say that. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. You're jinxing it from the dark side. Oh my god. Where are you taking me? Is that like what? No, but all of that for this? With the you and the everything and the I'm gonna die? None of this, please. What are you? You're a ball. What does that do? Is everyone normal now? I don't think so. There's either a fire guy somewhere or... Oh, shit. Or there's a totem. That's my priority. Where? No, get away from me. my horrible gameplay style is merely but a tactic. Oh, that was cool. I don't know. Everyone's back to normal now. I did something. I'll take it. Ghostbusters! Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. I don't even know what I did. Like to make everyone calm down. I don't know what I did. It's not a valid argument. Oh, insufficient fuel, my dick. He's gonna hit me with stuff. Oof. Ah, thank you for the 15 months. You are awesome. Thank you, thank you. Boys, you know what that means. Treat time. Surprise treat time. Surprise treat time. Thank you, thank you. Woo, 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 woo. Up our count. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting the Stream Dreams project. That keyboard doesn't work. Good job, Serena. Thank you for being the awesome human that you are. You know the T word though, don't you? You may not hear the sound, but you know the T word. You know the T word. You need a wider camera view. Looks like I'm just talking to the wall. Asking the wall if the wall wants treats. Is Slavka in here? Yeah. You want some cookies, mamas? Mama's not the mamas? Not the mama, not the mama. An extra cookie to the boys, if anyone knows what that's from. And I guess the girl, too. Meh. Not the mama. Not the mama. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Hello, Slavushka. I'll give you a break from tricks, boy. Doot. 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 The Dinosaur Family! You are correct. That was one of my favorite shows. It was on Netflix for a while. I don't think it has been in a while, though. Bonus treats. Bonus treats unlocked. Bonus treats unlocked. It's a pretty good pan. I always say that when I take out my walk. I think it was literally just called the Dinosaurs. Well, don't smack your brother. Thank you. Meow. You got cookies. You're good. You're satisfied. You're satiated. Oh, where my eyeball's gonna start this drama again. No more drama. No more. Was an invader floof. Hopefully that is that. I think it was just called the Dinosaurs. Not the mama, not the mama. Mama, mama, mama. Now they're all just licking their chops. Happy and entitled as can be. Say thank yous. Gunther's like, oh yeah, I wake up from my sleepiest and I said thank yous. Gunther, you need to be emotionally present. Oh. Okay, well that's not like the worst checkpoint in the world. This could all be a lot better though. That's rough. Was it the Scully that did it? I don't think we've seen that before. I don't know. No, apparently not. That was really poor planning. 1000% acknowledged. No, get the fuck out of my way. I need this guy. You shit and fuck. See, it's not even worth it to do that in those moments. Everyone's surrounding me. That's dumb. Serena. It's dumb. No, that didn't turn off the chaos. So what will? What did I do? I don't even know. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Dude, for the win. Oh my god, is that it? There it is. Oh, punch. Punchy, not shooty. Run away! Run away! Swim away! Swim away! Probably gonna die in 2 seconds after saying this, but line him up and knock him down! That was stupid. He's acidic. You shouldn't do that. He's acidic. His pH value does not align with our values. Oh, fuck. You're over there, too? Oh, Jesus. We're not getting through this. I mean, like, maybe. A slight chance of probably not. He's just a box man, but like not in the sad ways. There's not even like a chonker of health in here. That's stinky. You're still alive? Fucker. I thought we got at him, or was there 2 of him? Yay! You are here. You are here. I am on fire. Going real. Oh my god, why is there more of you? There does not need to be any more of you. Like, bro, you are good. I'm standing in front of him like, I'll protect you, big brother. Not okay. You, I cannot chainsaw. I always think I can chainsaw him, and like, no. It doesn't work that way. I almost did it again. Shield is good, shield is good. My eye is getting watery again, but we must defeat him! I have a BFG cell. Maybe that should be savored for another moment in time. Ha! You gotta be dicking me. You a bitch. I screeched that when I got stuck in a parking lot a couple of weeks ago. And there was some guy doing like landscaping or some kind of like outside work there, and he laughed at me. I don't know if like he laughed at me or like with me in the moment. I wasn't actually mad, I was just expressing myself creatively. That's what I do. It was a little embarrassing. This girl is on fire. All of that to unlock a door. Like, they couldn't just make keys. A fortress has nothing on this bitch. There are no goodies in here. What do you think you're looking for? There's nothing for you here, Serena. I really respect that, like, my eyes are switching off. Which one wants to be so irritated, though? It's funny. It has to be a sinus issue, then. Your nose changes how powerfully you breathe out of each nostril. I swear I know words. Every certain amount of time. I don't remember how long, but a certain amount of time in between. We made it through. I can't believe the BFG didn't destroy him. That was rude. I gotta have this. This is Sorry, Gunther. Better mirror. I can't see right now. That's my bad. Your mom has big feet. This is maddening. Meow. I know, I'm just crying because you're the sweetest boy in the world. And just how are you so cute? How are you so cute? Gunther, you were a little baby like the babies once. That's crazy. I can't imagine them becoming like fully formed cats. It's weird. I think I said this on stream the other day, but I was talking to my dad and I asked him, like, when you saw me as a baby, like, could you imagine me being like a fully formed human being? He's like, well, you're not even now, but no. Like, you know what, you're right. The eye watering is maddening, yes. It's just, it doesn't need to be happening. It doesn't need to. But it is. I thought that was my door. Oh, I gotta do something with this. What are you? Wait, that would be where we came in. What do I have to do with you? That's the inn. Let me in. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Oh. Average girl mistake of the night. It's a push instead of a pull. And I'm yanking on it. And so is that gonna unlock the second or third celestial ring thing? Third? Now I gotta jump through those bitches? This is dumb. I'm firing my lasers!
With the rings fully aligned, the dimensional gate to Earth is now open. Get to the landing platform and pass through the portal. Earth does not have much time left.
Oh god. Was that not the way? The other door. Okay. How would you like me to get to that? What is your theory here? More down. For being like very developed, this is awfully underdeveloped at certain points. Like, this is an MSHA fall risk. This would not. This would get ticketed. This would not pass any standard whatsoever. Oh, we're in trouble. Witty one-liners be flying tonight. See, when I can switch up my caffeine and have most of the use of all of my brain cells, I do great. But tired, Serena? I can't tell if I'm the butt of the joke from the ass end of it. Oh, 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 wall. What's your theory here, darling? What you got for me? That one's not illuminated, but it looks like the way. Well, that's further. Whoop. I don't think I've ever heard them groan like that before. It was like, oh. Why do you have to shoot fire at me? That's not nice. Oh, empowered demon. That's fan-fucking-tastic. And of course it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. Of course it's you. And I'm making a grave mistake by focusing on one instead of the all. It's the trolley equation, the many versus the few. Get the fuck. Does he do like little spinnery things? Oh, he does! He's like the, fuck. What was it? Thumbelina. He's just like the Thumbelina toy. I just realized that. The guys in... The bug-looking guys in Commando do the same thing. It reminds me of this. Twee-yo-yo-yo. Did this one. It's like basic. I don't know. They made them for other creatures too. Other characters too. You just pull at the bottom and then they spin up and they fly around. My godmother's nephew had a Buzz Lightyear one. That one was pretty cool, honestly. I think that was it. It had weird little propellers. It was an interesting contraption. That's uncomfy. Kind of guessing that's the way to go. But you never know what's on the other side. You never know. You gotta cat map everything. Well, this doesn't look very wonderful. Is that something we shoot? I wonder. I don't think so. Oh, well that's grody. Probably need to like breathe at some point. I got focused on staring at that. Oh, am I just stuck down here now? I'm gonna run out of air. I didn't think this through. He's cool looking. Ah! Like, even more reinforces my respect/fear of cephalopods. Wait, how is the go that way? But we jumped in this way. So there's this. Oh! Whoa, there's a hole downstairs. That's pretty neat. He's so creepy. He's cool though. Oh, it's Dash that takes us through that underwater, I think. Where do you want me to go now? It was like his decomposing matter floating at the surface. That's nasty. It's nasty, nasty. Thanks, Ox. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Cheers. Ew, indeed. There's a punchy. Oh! That did not go positively. That was a cool feature. I don't remember that from before. His helmet stays wet for a minute after coming out. Well, not a minute, like a couple seconds. Okay. I kind of doubt that we can jump up there, but why not try? Oh, okay. Fast travel unlocked. What would we need to use that for? Does that allow us to move around the map, I wonder? Or to like other level locations? Everything is inevitably that way. Is this correct? I think I need to activate something that way before I can go this way. That doesn't seem correct. How do I get in there? What's that? What are you? Uh-oh.
The Godmaker is near. She cannot let you leave this place alive. She is invulnerable, but she has the orb within her chest. Once removed, her defenses will be down.
Oh no.
For millennia we have survived. Made others sacrifice in the name of our cause.
Uh-oh.
So that they may in turn find redemption. Who are you? A human, once a mortal, to defy
The orb in her
our
chest makes her invincible, so do we need to hit the orb? Use your meat hook. What the hell is our meat hook? Is that gun? The ballista? What the fuck is the meat hook? We're just gonna die a bunch of times before we figure this out. What? Oh, I guess we had an extra life. What is she? Why is her progress bar at the top? Is she gonna come in here? Is she gonna come and get me? I think that's a wall. Uh-oh. Big uh-ohs. Is that her arena out there? I don't know if I fucked up or if this is a glitch. Where are you? You fucking cunt. Where is this bitch? It activated an extra life, that's great, but where the fuck is she? The elevator didn't work again. I hate when I don't know if I fucked up or if it's just glitched. It's very rare that it's a glitch, but it can happen. Is she in here? No. I don't know how to find her. It popped me up. I don't think the respawn... There, see, she's up there. I don't think the respawn allows for the extra life activated, allows the elevator to trigger again. So it's a waste. And I have to reload the checkpoint. Because the only way I can get to her is with the elevator. Unless that does shit. Which, no, it does not. Oh, that's lame. Hide and seek level. I don't know. Either I genuinely goofed something there or that indeed was glitched. I feel like that was glitched. See, now it took me back up here. That can't be correct then. Why did I think I could Ghostbusters her? Why did I think that would do anything? Where's the little buddies? BFG cell. Alright. That's a start. Oh my god, where is that launching me to? I wanted to just see what that did to her. But I missed. I don't quite know how I want to approach this here. The little tutorial looked like they had the shoddy shit. I'm really not very adept with the shotgun. Maybe this is where you learn. Not a single dent of progress made into her. Break its shield and then blood punch her before she recovers. How does one break its shield? Hit it and then it's glowy. This is a tall order. This is asking a lot. Fire, fire bad, fire bad. This girl is on fire. Good lord! Get off the bouncy pads. This is not doing you any service here. I don't know where to focus. Below, above, in what capacity? I'm by too many bouncy pads. This is problematic. This is dangerous. This is dramatic. I still feel like this is ultimately probably easier than jumping through those fucking hoops. So I really can't complain. But I'm not succeeding in this moment. Like, there's no success to this attempt of how to function in game. Guess if I collect enough of those, I can probably chainsaw these guys. Where are you? Yeah! Oh, my eyeball is about to have a moment. That's so rude. That's so rude. That's so rude. Plus, they're not helping like I wish they would. I do not understand if it is a sinus issue, if it is a temperature issue, if it is maybe just being around the kittens. I'm extra allergic because mom licks them all the time, but I'm not like touching them. The timing was terrible. But we're not like that close to winning to where like it's worth toughing it out. Whoa! Whoa. She knocked me on my booty. I don't even know how you want me to like jump up and punch you. Like what is your fantastic ideal for how this works? You fucking bird. As much as I love the chick who plays Dee and It's Always Sunny, this bitch is a bird, and in a bad way. No target. There's never any target. Insufficient fuel. Only fire. This is worse. This is the worst. No, it's not. It could be worse. We could have to jump through hoops. Clockwork Orange eyedroppers. A little bit. Oh my god. It's obnoxious. Just walk right in the fire. Down, down, down. In the burning ring of fire. And down, down, down. And the flames went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. And Serena accomplishes nothing. She accomplishes nothing. These are like extra. They have different robes, or do the other ones have red robes too? I thought they had white robes. Mandela affecting myself. Just what is going on here? What is happening, girl? Okay, no, that is not the message. You're dead. So if you want to use a shotgun, figure out which shotgun you want to use. That one. That might have bonked her shield. The super shotgun, I think. Sentinel armor. They gave that to me because I'm bad. Let's go. They said, girl, you are in trouble. You need some help here. Welcome, Ox. Hope you're having a wonderful night. Happy Friday. Welcome to Torture Night, where we die a million times until we get it right. No, fire bad. Fire bad. Fire bad. Yeah. It seems. It missed her. Oh! How do I get up and blood punch her? How? Can we do that? Where'd she go? Fuck! Missed the opportunity. So close. Fire bad. Out of like everything. This is not going to be a promising expenditure. I have oh my god. Leave me alone, bitch. What is she saying? Sir? Sore? I don't know. Don't need the health. Damn it! For one fucking health I yoinked that. That was stupid. Just missed entirely. Yep. Definitely thought what was in front of us was an operable gun for a moment, and no, it is not, which is mildly disappointing. Oh, okay. How do we get to her? I don't know how to blood punch this bitch. Use the meat hook. What is the meat hook? What is the meat hook? I've never heard of the meat hook in my life. What are you? My keyboard doesn't work. What the fuck is the meat hook? How does one trigger the meat hook? Yeah, there we go. We're playing on PC though. F and A. It's obnoxious. That one slipped. Crying because you're all so beautiful. That's what we shall pretend. Mine doesn't work, must be a bug. That's 6 years ago though, they must have fixed it. I don't play on it. Whatchamacallit. Weapon attachment is a part of the super shotgun. how to use. PS4. Okay, now we're cooking. It's available as a secondary trigger mod from the Super Shotgun from the moment you obtain it. What? What? Can't try it. Going to that. It's just rockets. I don't think I can chainsaw you. No, we just get to die now. Do it for nothing. Do it for Nye. Oh, it's just bullets. Not just bullets, but yeah. Bro. Oh. Gotta be mindful of the back end of things there. Jeez. No, no bouncy. No, no. That's not where we're going. Okay. That's supposed to be the meat hook? Doesn't look very meat hooky. Don't know how we're going to get her without that aspect. I've emotionally checked out from this until we can replenish the combat shotgun. Oh wait, was I using combat shotgun or super? Oh, I didn't have super open. Shit. Insufficient fuel, of course. Stop setting me on fire. It's not nice. Ah! Stop set. Okay, then just kill me. I don't know. Let me turn down my lights. It seems to mostly be happening on screen. So what if we're in the darkness for a little bit? It's not the greatest, but maybe that will be better. Maybe the light's just too bright. I don't know. Is this really the final boss? I don't think so. Unfortunately. Because this is still in Urdok. And I think there's one more level that's called Final. Or something like that. Final Sin. That's what the last one is. Some good the armor did us. Okay, wrong shotgun though. Let's try this again. And again. And again. And again. Oh, it's been about an hour and a half. Let me die and then go check on the babies. That's supposed to be a meat hook. No. Ghostbusters! I don't think I can Ghostbusters her. I don't really know what we're doing here. It's an interesting concept. That's a fascinating reality. I wish us the best. Oh, where'd he go? He was just right there. Where is she? I don't know. Not trying to assume or shame. Fire bad! I guess I can kind of like hide behind things. That's a little smart. Does some smarts. Maybe. It's not very effective on her. Of course, you're right in front of me. Let's come move shot of that. You're not even shocked from that? Like that did nothing to you? It did a little bit. I can see at the top, but... Oh, she's green and struggling. Okay, then this. Dude, I don't know how to meat hook this bitch. Boss tip, use the meat hook. What is this meat hook situation? What? What are you? It doesn't stop. You don't make sense. Secondary trigger. L2. Jews refuse to read any of the pop-ups or tutorials. How are you at the end of the game? Asking how to switch weapon buttons. Shut the fuck up! 2 green marks on the reticle. Slide inward when you're locked. Just L2 and get in and fire when you look. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Bro, this is just getting worse and worse by the second. I'm gonna go peeking on the tinies and get some actual... and put some Theratears in. Which sounds counterproductive, but might help. Burp, 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 burp. meat hook. I honestly think Void is going into heat again, which is interesting. Makes me even more grateful that she's inside. Bionic Commando. Welcome, Midnight Dynamite. Game tells you about it when you get the gun. Well, I don't remember that. Mutes cooldown and L2. Okay, we got this. Maybe. Sometimes. Void. Everyone else is fixed. But Void has been very talkative yesterday and today. And she keeps giving me her ass. She's showing off. Generally. That's what cats in heat do. That should trigger a reticle, and it's not. Shit. No, maybe I didn't cool it down from wherever we paused at, though. I don't know why I'm focusing on this, bro. I don't need to. Can you just teleport? Oh. Okay. Ghostbusters? A little bit? Did a little something. She mad, though. Oh, I forgot we can dodge and leave. It's crazy if she is going into heat, though. I do not know how to meat hook up to you, lady. This is so fucky. This is so fucky. See, when I read things like it glitched for me and this is where I got stuck, ruined the game for me, it terrifies me. I feel like those will launch us up high enough, though. But, like, maybe only the meat hook would draw us in. Dude, all I have is this right now. No, trigger me back to the thing. Well, yeah. It's not helpful. I can't see through you. This is the most scuffed moment of my life. Oh my god, just kill me. We have no hope. I can't breathe. Are we not dead yet? Just listen to that chain gun purr. Oh my god, my eyes drive me nuts. I thought that would have helped. Putting in eye drops, and it really didn't. It did for a second. I think it really might be the lights. Even though I turned them down, there's still, I only turned down one. There's two others that are bright. Boy, yeah, that's my glasses. You can't sit on that. You're too big. They're getting so big. Cow is the biggest. I can't believe it. It's really cool. It's been really cool to watch them grow. All of their eyes are open as of yesterday. Welcome, Tommy. How you doing tonight? I don't know what I'm doing with my glasses. Crying tears of joy because the weekend is here. My sinuses are irritated. My eye keeps watering. Like, terribly. It's just dripping a drop. It was this one the other night. My gosh. I'm glad you're doing good. I saw the picture you posted of Kai in his little canine uniform. That's adorable. He's so cute. Oh my god. He's so adorable. Yeah, everyone roasts me for how I say water. Don't say it right. I can't take allergy medicine. It makes me feel weird. His tactical harness is adorable. Him and Ringo could be pals. I think I have a picture of Ringo in his harness here. Tactical dog. It's too far back. I probably posted it to the Discord. They could be distant, very, very distant cousins. Very extra distant cousins. Oh, I thought I posted a side angle of it. No. Just the front ways. Tactical dog. I need to loosen his, what's it called, tomorrow. It was a little tight for our walkie today. Philly hates me, and I find that amusing. It was from Teen K9. Nice! Why isn't the camera booping around? I think Ringo's is a knockoff Carhartt one. Got him the Carhartt collar. But then the Carhartt harness was way too expensive. Got him knockoff version. Just put his own little stickers on it. Does it have Velcro to where you can attach more? Or not Velcro, but like what Velcro sticks to. The fuzzy bits. Aww. He hates when people takes off his collar. He's so proud of his little outfits. That's hilarious. That's how Pibby used to be. She loves wearing clothes. Now she really doesn't care. She's like, Mom, why are you putting a diaper on me? That's so adorable. Aww. Why is he afraid of the collapsible water bowl? Is it one of the ones that, like, it opens and then it smushes down flat? Or is it the flip over one? Mine don't like the flip over one. But mine like the one that smushes and opens. He's a walking dog now. I saw that in your post. I'm so proud of him. That's awesome. He's used to his water bowls being reflective. Oh, that makes sense. It's confusing otherwise. It's scary. It's nerve-wracking. I think if he's thirsty enough, like you guys go for a long enough adventure once he's cleared from rehab. I'm assuming that he's rehabbing right now. When he's thirsty enough, he'll drink out of it. Like, dogs aren't stupid. They can be a little stupid, but in general, they're not stupid. Kai's a smart fellow. He's a smart little man. He's so cute. Boy, we're gonna get murked. We're gonna get murked. Woot, woot, woot. So, like 6 weeks to go. 4 to 6 weeks to go. That's not bad. That's awesome. He's already walking about a block. Go Kai. Kai is winning at life. That is fucking awesome. I'm so proud of you guys in his recovery. A round of applause for Kai, everybody. Round of applause for Tommy. Kai is an awesome dog, but it takes an awesome doggy dad to keep the awesome dog going. You win at that, sir. I do not win at this, but you win at that. There is no meat hook. Is that the toggle that they maintain? That's not a meat hook. I am befuddled. I am like truly befuddled. And I'm getting hit by everything. Damn it. Whee! See, that got us almost high enough to have been able to dash into her if we were at that point. This is glitching horribly. Like, I'm terrible, but this is actually glitching horribly. Is it the camera connected? Is it my internet? I mean, my aim is terrible, but that's neither here nor there. That's a control factor. nothing else here. I'm gonna pull out one of those. Whip it out. She recharges so fast. How are we gonna get this bitch? Like, she's actually the worst. Gun! Can you gun? I don't know why this one is faltering. Still not accomplishing anything positive, but like... We are so very on fire. See, we could get there. It has to be done like at a professional standard. Oh, I got nothing left. Nothing. Nothing but my will to attempt to see. Nope. Insufficient fuel. He says, let me get to the fucking ammo! Oh my god, I can't. Voya, you're on my napkin. I can't see. I'll be right back. I just need to vent for a moment. There are so few things in life that I'd like to do for me, because most of what I enjoy is in service to others. Like, taking care of the zoo all day is no shade off of my shoulders. I enjoy it. That's good stuff. But I want to play a game tonight, and my body betrays me in so many other ways. And to have the most... it's not the most ridiculous, but a ridiculous betrayal like this is just, like, I just want to do a little something that pleases me, and that doesn't ever, let me rephrase that, because that's extreme. It seems less frequent than not that I'm blockaded from that, and that's frustrating. It's more frustrating that I would like to attempt to find joy in getting this bitch than it is more frustrating than my eyes watering. Back to drums? Nice! That's phenomenal. When I'm able to, I will have to pop into your stream. I've been extremely busy with the babies. Extremely busy taking care of me. Extremely busy with everything. I haven't seen your streams in forevers. Voya, the floof is not helping. I don't know what my sinuses are doing. I don't know if I need to go blow my nose. I could try to make a cup of mulligan tea. Oh, it's way past Ringo eat time. I'm gonna feed Ringo in a minute and make a cup of mulligan tea and see if that improves that. I would think so. I don't know. Let's try that. Mr. Voya, you're in front of everything. We do got this. If we got the meat hook. I need to look up on YouTube when we get back what the meat hook toggle actually looks like, so we can figure out if we have it. I'm gonna go feed Mr. Ringo, because I'm late. I'm a bad mom. And make a cup of mulligan tea. Because if it is my sinuses wonking out, that should help a little bit. Clever girl. really muted the music and my mic. I was pressing buttons with one eyeball. Let a girl live. The tea doesn't help. Honestly, put some salt, not iodized, like Epsom probably. Relatively hot water, not boiling and snort it. Helps with a lot of things. This is true, that is a good remedy. I have some issues with my sinuses. My nose has been broken a handful of times. So those things are quite painful for me to do, but that is a good suggestion to share with the class. Got some mullion tea in the world's coolest cup. The world's best mom. It was my mom's cup. And we're gonna kick some butt. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out if we actually have the meat hook mod. We should naturally have it. I shouldn't have had to do anything to get it. So, where is it? Do not let me be one of the glitched ones. I have come so far. So far. Broken noses are the worst. I don't know. I've never broken an arm. I've never broken a leg. I've only broken my nose and my fingers. And a bone in my foot once. But I never want my nose broken again. I'm so sensitive about that. Whenever I'm playing with the dogs and they jump near my face, I'm like, not my nose! Not my nose! Don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, that was dumb. Closed the whole darn thing. Let's try that again. What does it even look like? Well, it's a song on the soundtrack. Mastering the meat hook. Okay, let's master the meat hook. That sounds dirty.
Doom Eternal has added some seriously dangerous weapons to the Slayer's arsenal. Things like the Doom Blade, the shoulder-mounted equipment launcher.
Owie! That's some dangerous laser tag.
Best addition by far, the meat hook.
Never played laser tag. I almost played laser tag once, but I've never played laser tag. I like vaguely remember this.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. My name is Rubio.
Playing
Lifelong
on
nerd and big
PC
tech
though.
nobody. After this video, you'll be well on your way to mastering the meat hook.
It doesn't really help me.
But before you can do all of that, you gotta know the basics. The boring stuff. There are two distinctly different types of mobility in Doom Eternal. The default movement system and in-flight mobility.
It's just a
The
special
default movement
talent.
system only allows for a very small amount of control after you've left the ground, but you generally continue moving in the same direction.
I feel for
that
you though.
started,
Broken
no matter
noses
where
are
you
owie.
go, just like in Doom 2016.
It's sensitive.
Movement keys are
Very
fairly
sensitive
effective
place.
while in the air as well, and only work to stall your current directional movement.
It's
not
fragile
moving
territory.
outright, just like in 2016. With in-flight mobility, however, your mouse has much more direct control over where you go while in the air. You go exactly where you're looking as long as you are holding plus forward. Same system as in 2016.
This is like helpful but not.
And finally, the greatest difference between the two movement systems. In-flight mobility.
I find
lets
this
you
background
move
sound very
apply
annoying
the same
also.
directional movement in the air as they do on the ground. Either of these movement systems can perform a meat hook fling, but each of the systems behaves slightly differently, so it's good to be familiar with both. Some of the flashier, more advanced stuff can only be done with in-flight mobility. However, the default movement system is slightly easier to learn this on and is a more consistent experience for those who play battle mode. But now that we have all that out of the way, let's cover the basic function of the meat hook is to pull you in a straight line towards your target. If you jump while attached to the hook, you'll break the chain and gain a small bit of vertical momentum.
Oh no.
But if
It
you
sounds so
stand beside your
painful.
target while attached to the meat
I
hook,
ran
you'll
into a
simply
tree
bounce
running
the
like that
chain
once.
and re-add forward
Trying to look behind me, and boom, tree. I was in like second grade on the playground. I know exactly the move you're talking about, but yours was much more of a mortal wound. I just had my pride really checked.
And immediately swap back to pressing W. If you've played Quake or other limited shooters, then many elements of this technique should already be pretty familiar to you, and will just require some practice. There are a ton of variables that all have an impact on the speed and distance of your
This
climb.
is not the
It seems
arena
that
to
most times,
practice.
using a double jump to break the chain
Not
will
here,
cause
but
loss
where
of
we are.
momentum, but using double jump immediately after snapping the chain adds to it instead. With the default movement system, you gain the most speed by using only a straight key to swing around your target, and then reintroducing plus forward movement after the chain is broken. You can still use your forward movement key in your swing, but it does seem to be more effective to use strafe only first. This changes when using the in-flight mobility though. Situationally, you can use any combination of strafe and forward keys to gain as much momentum as you need. Another thing to note is that in-flight mobility seems to negate some ground friction, so bunny hopping and ramp jumping becomes significantly easier to pull off and control. As you can see here, as I make contact with the ground, I jump and maintain that.
So it'd be so annoying, but so helpful if the whole game moved this slowly.
Off of that little rock ledge there. Outside of those few tips, there's not much left that I can really teach you.
I didn't go to the hospital. I don't even think I went to the nurse's office.
Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a like on the video.
I just got a cute little dent in my head and fell on my butt.
And follow me on Twitch to hang out live while I experiment with this amazing new tool. Peace.
I was raised by my dad. You don't go to the doctor unless you're dead, dying, throwing up so much you can't stop, or you have a fever over like 103. I literally ran into a tree. Like, it doesn't get more either hilarious or adorable than that. This is not helpful because he is PC.
The meat hook mod of the super shotgun is so good. Not just because of the armor
This
upgrade,
is console
and not
to
just
some
because
extent.
it's a great way to escape a sticky situation either. The mobility that it provides allows for really cool combat strategies, as well as some skips in a few key areas. After a meat hook connects, even after a double jump, you can jump off the hook, maintaining your speed and changing direction.
Feels
And
like
you can
there's
do
something in
another
it, but I
jump
know there
followed by your
isn't.
air dashes. Here you can see me skipping the first combat and platforming section of the Doom Hunter base. The
I don't
meat
even
hook
think
lets
I
you
told
fly
my
past
dad about it.
transition areas like the rooftops.
I had bangs, like, to here. I had, like, bowl cut and bangs, probably until I was, like, I don't know, 10. He probably didn't even see that it was there. I probably didn't say anything about it because I was embarrassed. I did it in front of the cute boy.
It's a final sin.
Of all the
Dancing
people
is
to do it in front of.
combat zone
Finally
of
get
the
to play
Dark
tag
Complex.
with the cute boy.
Now, I know Doom
And then you
Pro,
run into
I
a
don't know
tree.
what the speedrunners are doing yet. I don't want to watch that
I have
stuff
not
until
changed
I've
one
enjoyed
bit
the game my way
since
until
then.
completion.
That
So I
that
don't
is
know
my
how much of this
reality.
stuff is known or used, or if it has a name. I'm just calling it Meat Hook Skip, MHS for short.
I think
and
it
it's
was
a
pretty
whole
cute
new
on
level
me.
of fun and
I'm not
discovery
gonna
for
show you
new
guys
repeat
underage
playthroughs.
pictures of me.
Meat
That's a
Hook
little
Skip
weird.
destroys the buff totem room in Necroball with a quick meat hook onto the Cyber Mancubus, followed by
It was
a
easy to
sharp right
maintain.
turn and dashing. A typically challenging room completely invalidated by this beautiful mechanic. As if that weren't good enough, the buff totem room
My
in the
hair is
Super
pretty
Bowl
wild
is
if I don't
completely
style it.
bypassed with the meat hook skip.
So
This
it makes
weapon
sense to
allows us the
maintain it that
perfect
way.
angle to reach the next part of the level. A couple of buffed gargoyles may harass you, but you'll be out of there in no
A
time.
bowl cut is probably
This is
kind of
one
a
my
stretch. It
favorite
was like
skips. This
chin
room is
length.
filled with a lot of annoying tentacles that you have to push through to get to the end where you can climb up to the second level. Everyone hates dealing with these things, but once you're up there, you jump across
tree was
and make
fine,
it to the
though.
exit. Instead of doing all that, trigger the first tentacle, walk back,
It's
jump,
just
meat hook,
embarrassing.
and launch yourself directly to the exit. It's great. My favorite way to use the meat hook is for strategic positioning.
Is
in
the meat
combat.
hook just a
I'm starting
move
to
and
think
not like
more
a
about
physical
where I
thing?
want to
I
be
keep
to have
looking
an
for a
advantage,
physical thing. Is it a
especially when the enemy
concept?
has the high ground. Here's a great example. The meat hook gets me past the staircase and the arachnotron spawn point, and lets me control the area from the top for the start of the fight. It's really
Does
cool.
the meat hook
I'm
give
not
you
great at it,
motion?
It's just one of the many tools I'm gonna have to work on.
Not
Here's my
asking,
favorite
I'm
place
just
do
trying
it,
to
at the start of
understand.
Necroball. Let's take a look at what's waiting for us here. A couple zombies, and then a narrow staircase that forces combat in a very disadvantageous space. At the top of the staircase, there's an arachnotron, a cyber mancubus, 2 imps, a
Arachnotron.
gargoyle, and a second cyber mancubus spawning on the right. We can use the meat hook to flank this group of enemies from the left and take them down.
I genuinely can't tell if it's adding to motion or if he's just dashing. I need a culprit. I need a tissue. I need a tissue. Goodness golly gee willikers, Batman.
But hey, why do that when you can just MH?
I feel like everyone has, well, not everyone, but it's pretty common to have that moment like later in life.
So yeah,
you don't. I think it's just like losing the social pressures of like your friend group and like what would people say and like having to maintain it in an enclosed space versus like your own personal space when you're more mature.
It blows my mind that people don't like it. I tried to play Doom 2016 a few days ago, and not only does
There's
it
a couple
feel
guys
really
that hit me
slow,
up after
but
high
the
school and
enemies
they were
act
like, I was so
hideous in
intimidated
comparison.
by you,
Still love the game,
but I was in love with you.
Doom Eternal has changed
I'm like,
the
what?
world for me. Would
You
anyone
made fun of me and made mean faces at me. I did nothing but sit there.
be interested in a full-length review of the game?
Excuse me.
I've thought about it, but there are so many reviews out there already. I'd need to take some time to put it together and decide what I want to say. Let me know if you'd be interested in that eventually. Like and subscribe and tell a Doom friend about this channel for me.
Tell a Doom friend. My Doom friends, you've been told.
Or attention grabbing, so I'm gonna have to rely on word of mouth, I think. I know the first video I did was a response to the bad takes of other reviewers, but
I still don't understand this fucking weapon mod.
Comments to react to. That's just not the kind of content I like to make. That video just had to be made, but there are already plenty.
When the meat hook kicks in. Okay, let's see what it's like. They better not have been in love with me. That's just pathetic. That's herd mentality. They gotta be free thinkers. Isn't maturity wonderful? Maturity is like common sense. Some people get it, some people don't. This is so annoying. I don't know, maybe they did all like me. I was quiet. I didn't say anything. That's what boys like, right? I still don't understand this! I'm gonna have a mental breakdown over this gun. Little did you guys know, the feeling is mutual. Peace is peaceful. What are you doing? This is like watching my brain cells work. It had the red reticle for a moment. Is that what we're looking for? Okay. So it does shoot something out. So you have to jump and then shoot. You can't be static while shooting. Maybe? Maybe. You were not Bill Nye the Science Guy? I am disappointed. I'm disappointed. That's what I thought it was, but then every other video and everything I tried showed nothing of, like, a grappling hook. That's essentially what it is. But I guess we have to be jumping to use it? That's what he did. Or she. I don't know. That's what the YouTube person did. So put me in a bouncy. There's nothing to grab onto there. I need the thing to grab onto. Pressing L2. I don't see progress, but maybe it's because her shield isn't off. Where's dude? Sounds like she's saying some mix of sir and shut up. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, you. I want to be able to test this. Get far enough away from you. Okay, it does work. It does work. It does work. I don't know what I did. I pressed both L2 and R2. I don't know. I think I can only use it on her if her shield is down. I mildly understand. I have mild understanding. Oh, I fell down. I think we have it. Have a VFG cell. It's that hitser that's gonna make her turn green for a moment, and then I'm not gonna have a good amount of time to actually get to her. And I don't have any more shotgun because I'm dumb fucking cunt. I love that for me. Like, that was the right thing to do, but in all of the wrong orders. It was epically, marvelously terrible. No! No! Stop shooting me with fire. Stop it. No more. No more. The other ones keep respawning or not? It doesn't look like it. So we gotta just leave them be for whatever amount of time. Oh, this is... Oh no, he's there. Okay. I cannot do anything with you. That completely missed you. Last stand! We're in trouble. I love going overboard. That's my favorite. Chainsaw! No, take it. Take it. Where are you? Where'd you go? Wait, I can't even fight him with it? Get over here. Where are you? Rude! I have nothing left to survive with. Kill me. Kill me. Take me as I am. Driving me bonkers. Oh my goodness. TV days were the best, though. They're a fun break from life. So there, like, is but isn't a rhyme or reason here. Oh no, I need to be up higher. I need to be up higher. Where are you? Fuck. Why did I think I'm like some professional? I could like trick shot that backwards. That was very ambitious. It was very, very, very ambitious. Oh, we're going down. Fire! Fire bad! Fire bad! I don't even know how to go for who to go for first here. Jesus! I'm not even doing shit. Foya, you get her. Get her. It's a bird. Get him. Get the bird. Get the bird. Mom's done with us. Get the bird. Oh, you spent like 3 streams in the last spot. We're gonna spend at least 3 streams in this spot. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. We're doomed. We're doomed. Wall. The sequence is there, just the availability of ammo and health are not conducive to my aim. I'm in trouble. I need to figure out next time I die if I come fully charged with all of the what's its. Get back over here. She is just a vile creature. I do not approve. Chain gun! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a chance. We have a chance. Fuck! Fucking fucker. Fucking fuck. Ah, I can't see. Can't see. Can't see. Can't see. Oh my god. Most things in life are worth trying. As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting someone else. We do what we do got what we want to do down. We just gotta sequence it precisely. Next time I die, I want to figure out if we come fully charged with all of the gas cans that we need. We got this eventually, but not in the now, Lee. Where am I? On fire. This girl is on fire. It's the song of the night. There's only 2 available, but combat rebuilds 1 too. So then we have 2 potential, like, full reloads. Well, aren't you a tough little bitch? Boop. You're so good at falling up. Am I in, like, the perfect respawn spot to just be knocked and knocked and knocked constantly? Fuck! That's so close. We're so close. Not close to anything, but just simply hitting her, but... Nothing. Nothing left. Nothing. Take it. Take it, bitch. Oh, the shotgun uses both shotgun shells? Like, that makes sense, I guess, but that's awfully rude. 2 rockets. Okay. Is there one more purple biddy? No. Where are you? Insufficient fuel. Do we have, oh, we have 2 fuels. So I think I have to get her at least once to replenish my fuel. I'm amazed I'm moderately maintaining health. No, I want the bubble. I want the purple thing. Give me the purple thing. Thank you. Oh, that one fills up that one and that one. You stinky. I can barely see you. You're gonna keep knocking me over. Like, this is the most insult to injury thing I've ever experienced. Going down. Just going down. No, no, no. We're not knocking me over this time. We're not. We're not. Don't move, don't move, don't move, you stupid whore. I don't know what's gonna happen when she actually turns green, but we're here. I don't know. Okay. Up. How? Tall. Get there. Fuck! That's the wrong shotgun! God, I hate this level. I still hate it way less than I hated that other room, but I hate it. This is what purgatory will be for me. Can't see. All the monsters everywhere. Just Sisyphus. Trying to climb out of that hole day in and day out. Boom, baby. Oh my god, I can't fucking see. I can't fucking see. I can't fucking see. I can't fucking see. Not going well. Boys, you have been Pavlovically triggered. Hey, thank you so much, Getsum. I appreciate the 8 months. You're a wonderful human being. And welcome, welcome, Cyogenics. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much. Thank you for the vote. You are awesome. Pop that in your shirt there. Stick it on your visor, wherever it needs to go. Usually put my I voted sticker on my car visor. Arg, indeed. We're trying. We're trying. Trying is the operative. Tonight is just practice. This isn't real. It doesn't count. I'm just showing what not to do. Thank you so much, Gutsum. I really appreciate it. You are wonderful. You are wonderful. I'm acting like the treats are over here. No, they're up in the cabinet. I appreciate it. Should have voted a few extra times. You can only vote once every 24 hours-ish. I don't know. This is so confusing. For AVN, the email they sent me of, like, everything starting is, like, it ends on the 15th. And then their website says it ends on the 20th. But it doesn't seem to be a 24-hour cycle for voting. Because you can put your own name in the hat for pre-nominations. Yeah. Will close promptly at midnight on the night of September 15th. That was the information I was given. Like, you can vote multiple categories, I think as many people as you want, but you can only submit one person per category each. You could type in as many cosplayer names as you want, but you can only type their name in once. That's a better way of explaining it. It's so goofy, though. I don't understand. I appreciate you, though. Thank you. Y'all are gentlemens. I appreciate all the love tonight. And thank you for supporting Stream the Dreams Project. It does not seem to be midnight, which it was somewhere around there. Because I did my votes at the end of the night for the first round of days up until the 15th. And now it seems to be all askew. I don't know. Maybe things didn't work well or things didn't get counted properly like the first few days and then they extended it. I only went off of my email. I don't have time for this shit. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Oh no, Slavka's not in here anymore. Just the boys. Just the boys. I'm here for cats too. AVNs would be cool, but this year I just want to be nominated for Best Cat Mom more than anything. I'll take like Fave Cosplayer too, but Fave Z-MILF, that would be the best award. Had an itch and I want to do that before I have cat food on my hands. Boys, come here. Say thank yous. You get some snackies. Boya is not in the mood to do tricks tonight, but he is very pleased. Boop boop. Say thank yous. One more. Gunther keeps booping it and he has like a trail going. He's funny. Oh my goodness. You're so silly. You're so silly. Like boop, 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 booping along like a dog. Oh my goodness. Aw, thank you for the smooches for the babies. I appreciate it. They're so dang cute. It's so hard not to scoop them up and just huff them. Smooch them. My God. I mean, there are other great pet moms out there, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm the best. However, I feel the most cocky about it. Thank you. I like these. I don't remember where I got them. I might have gotten them at a Killstar. I've had them for a few years. I never know. Are these supposed to go on the front or the back? They have a garter clip. And I've worn them both ways, and they're fine both ways, and I like to wear one way and the other way sometimes. So, like, there's stripes on the back and then stripes on the front. But how, like, do these actually go? Does anyone know? I've seen them advertised both ways, too, which is annoying. But it seems weird that, like, your foot is exposed like that, where, like, the top is covered. This one is inside out. I think I'm just the only one who's coined the term. They are cute. I just have no idea how they go. Either for, like, it would make sense to me that, like, the solid part is your foot part. But I don't know. 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 Well, what audience am I supposed to ask? There's not, like, the committee of socks that I can go beckon. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's the way it's supposed to be too. But I've seen them worn this way more than the other way. So I don't know. I don't know. Open up a FetLife, just ask that one question to anyone who messages me until I collect enough data and then close my account. Oh my goodness. See, regular socks are awesome in that way because exactly, you don't have to wonder if you're wearing them the right way because, where are my socks from earlier? Because they're pre-shaped. Like they give you the understanding that like your toes are here, your heel is here, your ankle is here. This is just, it's a confusion. I don't know. Would I respect it? That would be honestly interesting to do on stream. Just leave it open in like a corner window. I don't know how FetLife actually works. But open it up and just wait for a notification to pull up and anyone messages me about anyone like, hey, can I send you a pic and ask you a question? Which way do these socks actually go? I love tube socks. I love dad socks. They're so ugly. Like, they look good on guys, but they look terrible on me. But they're so comfortable. But they're so ugly. Like, they look so bad, but they're so comfy. I love them. I love them. I'm crying tears of joy because I love them so much. Dads do always look good. It's like a nice smile, even if your teeth aren't like perfect. It feels good. It feels good to see genuineness. The Paw people. The Paw people would know. The Paw Patrol. We have to contact the Paw Patrol. That's what we have to do. That would be hilariously interesting. Paw peoples. They need to tell me things. Oh, let me upcount before I forget. Thank you again so much. I appreciate you. You are wonderful. You are phenomenal. You are fantastical. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You guys want to see where your sub dollars go? I found that keyboard doesn't work, Serena. Christ almighty. Thank you, Batrix. That was perfect timing. I found this cute little thing at Target, which I'm going to set up for the babies when they're a little older, closer to Halloween. But it makes like a little haunted house. It's so cute. And there's little kittens playing in it. It's a little baby Gunther. They're so cute. So I think it'll be kitten sized, but it's also like kind of big-ish. But like they'll be biscuit sized by then, if not like a little bit bigger. They might be that big now, honestly. They're large. This surprises me. Like, they're small, but they're large. I don't know how to make that understood, but it's true. Boya thinks everything is for him. Or there might be catnip inside of that. I don't know. And when I was at the vet today, I found them 2 little packs of Halloween toys. This one has a bunch of little spooky dudes in it. A little eyeball rolly. Where's the eyeball part of it? There it is. It's spoopy. They have not had catnip yet, and we're gonna wait until they're mature enough for that. This one has Mom in it, so they can play with Mom when Mom doesn't want to play with them. So I'm sure we'll reach that point at some point. But they're so cute. I think they're gonna really love like the microfibery fluffy one. I think there's a black one in this one, yeah. I think they're gonna like that one. That one looks fun to play with. I feel like I would like it. I'm at the vet at least every week. Like at least once a week. Either bringing someone in or picking up medication or whatever it is. This week I was at the vet 3 times. Chauncey went in twice and Munster went in today. 3 times this week. So it almost half the week. Almost. They gotta get their medical catnip card first. They need to qualify. Yeah, give them a few months of life before giving them the devil's lettuce. Exactly. Let them raw dog the world for a while so they can be grateful for it. That's terrible. Terrible, but kind of true. The devil's chamomile. I think it's in the mint family. Catnip is. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't know what family chamomile is in, but I think catnip is in the mint family. This tea is not helping, but this tea is good. I forgot how much I like it. It kind of tastes like a regular cup of just like, I don't know, Lipton tea, whatever the heck that is. Brown tea. I don't know what to call it. There's black tea, there's green tea. What's Lipton tea? It's brown tea. I don't know. It kind of tastes like that, but more muted. It's very good. It's from the mullein flower. It actually grows wild out here. I harvested it at one year, but then I was too pussy to actually turn it into tea bags. I did the same thing with stinging nettle. Because you can make that into tea and it helps your allergies too. But I pussied out on that. Because at the last minute I was like, what if I picked the wrong thing? And then I threw it all away and freaked out. I still have the chicory root that I dried though. I want to ground that up and put that into some coffee. I still have those. Those, I'm sure, are chicory root. And they are definitely dried out by now. It's been 2 years. They are definitely dry. I don't remember where I am or what's happening. I think it's all bad, though. I'm pretty sure it's all bad. Everyone is way too fast for my comfort. This is not a positive place to exist. It's gonna regen way faster than I can do anything here. Fuckity fuckity fucked. There's another. Those aren't even hitting you, bro. That one did. Can I chainsaw you yet? We have 5 chainsaws? No. What's in the corner that we have 5 of? We have 5 rockets. Does not show the chainsaw counter when, oh, it shows the rocket count. That's dumb. You have the rocket out, it doesn't, oh. Is that showing everything? Where did I see? Oh, we must have had the, what's it called? We must have had the chainsaw out the last time I saw the counter below. There was 3 left, or there was 2 left. That was a rough landing. Necessarily need that, but oh, okay, that was good to grab, maybe. Maybe. Just maybe, baby. Fuck! It's not good. It's not good. You little shit. You little shit. Yeah, then it shows me the counter. That's so dumb. I can't hit him with only 2. All I can do is die now. Take it. Take it, bitch. Take it. Alright, we're just gonna cry and die now. Where's the bird? There's the bird. Getting pummeled by a bird. Sheesh. 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 It ironically makes it a little bit more bitter, but it makes it less acidic. Which usually you would think of bitter coffee as being acidic, but no. It's very popular down there, though. That's cool that you got to try it down there. Trying it natively. I feel like that'll taste a lot better than whatever I'm going to create in my kitchen. Last one. And then I give up for tonight. So it's time for bed. Alright, that's not how you survive. Need to be already in like a pretty good jump position to fire that at her. Oh, get the fuck out of my bubble. Get out of my bubble. We want this. Fuck. I don't even know if that's gonna do anything. No, no, of course it's not. God bless America. Oh. Was I only surviving from like her gravitational pull? I think so. I willingly walked through fire. Fire, walk with me. We are merely twin peaks. Should probably stop focusing on shooting at her for a moment. Where's everyone else? Farm some goodies. Maybe. I don't know. Where did the other ones go? Where did they come from? Where did they go? Where did they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. I swear these are more powerful than the last ones too. This is not a good life experience. The rocket launcher is basically pointless for her. I get that we have some rockets and that's cool, I guess, for filler. Damn it. Take me uppy. Uppy. Up. But. Dang it. Awkward. Awkward motion. This is so bad. Like, I don't know how to make this any better. It is what it is. It's bad. It's very bad. That's not even doing shit. Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters is not happening. Okay. I think I have to be like perfectly locked on to do it, and she's too movie. She's too scamoochy. She's scamoochy or booty. You're still alive. No, don't fall over. No, don't fall into the flames. Jesus! Mother of mercy. On the move. On the move. On the move. No, no, don't know where I'm going. Somehow picked up ammo. Somehow made that so much worse. Fuck. This is very, 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 very annoying. So ready for this phase of life where this is happening to be over. My goodness. Could use the tracking rocket launcher mod. I've tried it a couple of times and I'm not able to lock on fast enough with my skill set versus her motion. Because that's worked with a couple of other big enemies. But her? This bird? This broad? She's not good. It's a bit null and void. Chain gun. Where'd she go? Terrible. Oh god. It's gonna I'm the queen of overboard. Alright, now I can farm some goodies. Replenish one stock. Where are you? Ghostbusters! Standing in fire is probably not conducive to staying alive. Yeah, it's time for bed. 100%. I can't see, I can't aim, I'm cooked. all we got is rockets. I'm trying to see you through one eyeball, sir. Hold still. Oh my god. I don't know how that did anything, but it did. That's hilarious. Nope. We have nothing! Oh no. Oh no. Do I somehow have like a beefed up blood punch? No. Of course not. Christ. It just doesn't end. I could hydrate a small village right now with what my eyeball is outputting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can barely see shit right now. I don't know what THPS 3+4 is. Sorry. Sorry. Honestly, I can believe repressing this. I'd like to repress the rings of everything else that we just went through before in the beginning. What do you play on Midnight Dynamite? What console? Tony Hawk Pro Skater? I've never played that. Oh, it's starting to storm. Chauncey's gonna get upset in a few. Exactly. Solving the world water crisis. We might have different controls. I'm on the PS4. However, I do not mind dying 1,000 times to figure it out. No backseating, please. I don't know what I'm trying to survive for right now. All I have is the chainsaw. That's pretty badass image though. Okay, kill me. Kill me! Kill me! I can no longer see. My dog is going to freak. It is time for bed. I find it so interesting that like standing still, I feel like the death takes forever. But like getting through it, I feel like I can die like that. It's interesting. Oh, Doom, I love you, but you are a complicated relationship right now. Oh, I wouldn't know. I've never played Tony Hawk. I remember it being super, super cool, but I never played it. I think mostly my assumption at that point in life was I can't skateboard IRL, so why would I be able to do it in a game? Alright, Club Cult. This is gonna be our night for tonight. Storms are rolling in and Chauncey's gonna freak, and while I can still kind of see what's going on here, we're gonna say our good nights. Thank you all for a wonderful evening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your chats, and thank you for your company. Thank you for your time more than anything. Your time is very valuable. That felt so good. No, I'm not beating anyone up, but whether it's 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 hours, around see you again for 2 whole years. Our times collide is beautiful, magical, amazing, and marvelous. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night, and thank you all again for everything. If you'd like to keep up with me offline, hop into... Oh my fucking god. The Disky Boo. Don't hop into oh my fucking god, hop into the Discord. Anyways, we got the fun stuff. Socials. I miss my other keyboard. It's more fun stuff. I think Botrix is eeping, but everything else will catch up or it won't. Sketch maybe for when I will see you Bebs next. Yeah, there it goes. Thank you for popping in the stream, the Dreams Project, Botrix. That was beautiful of you. And don't forget to throw your votes in for your favorite cosplayer nomination. Pre-nomination in the Avian Awards. Oh my goodness, golly gosh. This is intolerable. I'm proud of myself for not giving up tonight. I need to put a cold compress on my face. Oy. Goodness golly gosh. It just goes slow sometimes. Or I go too fast, one of the two. It's kind of like dashes in Doom. Do me one favor before I see you Bebs next, and that is remember that you are wonderful, amazing, incredible, spectacular, and all the good things in the world. Take all those compliments and put them in your back pocket, your side pocket, your cute little hoodie pocket, your adorable little shirt pocket, or floating in suspended animation. Wherever it needs to go until I see you next, you sweet bubbos. Beautiful rest of your night. Some good eats and some good sleeps. I turned down my lights tonight, actually. Usually we look like this. I turned them down maybe like an hour or so ago because I thought that might be contributing to it heavily, but no. I don't know what it is. I hate having problems that I can't solve or that I don't know how to solve. I'll see you Bebs for the next one. Thank you for popping in for Torture Night Friday, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.
And I'll never let it go. Yeah, just a few